الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. All praise and thanks belongs to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and may the peace and blessing of Allah be upon His servant and final messenger Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. As to what follows, my dear respected brothers in Islam, what I wanted to share with you this morning is a practice that the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam taught us, and that is Salatul Istikhara wa Du'a'ul Istikhara. This is a supplication that the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam taught us, in which whenever a person is confused and wants guidance on a certain matter, then he seeks guidance from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala through these words that the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam taught. And it is very important that we study this matter and we understand it, and most importantly practice it in our life, especially in this day and age that we live in, this day and age of advancement, technology, information. A person might get carried away to think that I can get my guidance from many people, I can get my guidance from research that is out there, from information that is out there, and he slowly drifts away from seeking guidance from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because this is a day and age of information. There is an abundance of information. You go to a consultant, for example, pay him a certain amount, and you ask about a matter, and you get your answer, and based on that you make a decision, realizing that you have abandoned Salatul Istikhara in your life. So the idea is, we want to revive this sunnah in our life, and we need to understand when it is practiced and the words of Dua al-Istikhara, so that we are more connected with this worship. There is no doubt that Salatul Istikhara, by consensus of an ulama, it is a recommended matter, and that is due to the hadith of Jabir ibn Abdullah radiyallahu anhu, in where he said, كان رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم يعلمنا الاستخارة في الأمور كلها. Jabir radiyallahu anhu, he said that the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam used to teach us al-istikhara in all our matters, all worldly related matters. The Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam would teach us al-istikhara كما يعلمنا السورة من القرآن. In the very same manner, he would teach us a surah from the Quran. See the importance? And you all know the importance of the Quran and the relationship a person is supposed to have with the Quran, and that we read it on a daily basis. He used to teach them the words of the istikhara in the same manner he would teach them the Quran. Even that's how close Salatul Istikhara is supposed to be to the believer. In the same manner the Quran is close to him. And notice here that Jabir radiallahu anhu, he said, يُعَلِّمُنَا. He used to teach us. With ta'lim, learning something, doesn't only mean to memorize its words and to say it. Al-ilm, knowledge, would mean to memorize the words, to know the words, and most importantly, to understand that which you are saying. That's at-ta'lim. So the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam would not only teach them the words, but the meanings of these adhkar, and one of them is Du'a'ul Istikhara. And this is where a person would connect to this dua, when he understands that which it is referring to. Before al-Istikhara was taught to Ummat al-Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, how did the people used to seek their guidance? How did that used to happen? There used to be a means. Way before the Istikhara, among Quraysh, they used to do something that is closer to magic, and that is at-tatyir. They used to have birds, and they used to release the birds. If the bird flew left, meaning we're not going to go ahead with that which we are making a decision about, This was a means in how they used to make a decision about a certain matter. Put birds and see which direction they fly. If they fly towards the right, meaning let's go ahead with this matter that we want. They used to also do something known as al-istiqsamu bil-azlam. And this is mentioned in the Quran. Al-istiqsam bil-azlam, they would have a quiver and they would have 3 arrows within it. One arrow is written on it, imdi, the other one, la tamdi, and the third one is empty, nothing is written on it. And then the one that is seeking guidance on a certain matter will close his eyes and he'll choose an arrow. If it says imdi, meaning proceed, go ahead with the matter. If it says la tamdi, meaning don't go ahead with the matter. And if he takes out the one that is empty and nothing written on it, then they would repeat this process again. This was the type of istikhara they used to practice before Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam taught us what I'm about to share with you. Allah Azza wa Jal in the Quran, He forbid al-istiqsamu bil-azlam, as in Surah Al-Ma'idah. So this matter and everything else is forbidden. And the only thing that remained is al-istikhara, of course, wal-istishara, and we'll speak about that. So Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he said, إذا هم أحدكم بالأمر فليركع ركعتين من غير الفريضة. Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he said, if any one of you was concerned with a certain matter, he wants to make a decision about a certain matter. Let's say he wants to travel, and so he is now confused. Should I travel to this destination or not? He wants to get married to this certain person. Should I get married to her or should I get married to him if this was a woman or not? This is a huge matter. He wants to open a business. Should I open this business or not? He wants to invest in an existing business. Should I do so or not? There's a surgery that is required. Should I go ahead with this surgery or not? There's many things in the day and the night of a person in which they are bigger decisions, bigger than the normal matters that he has in life, that he is confused with and he needs guidance upon them. These are the very same matters that the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam will teach us to seek Allah's guidance. Well, istikhara, it comes from the word khair. Khair means goodness. Isti, the alif or the hamza, sin, ta, it means to seek something. Like istighfar, meaning to seek forgiveness. Istit'am, meaning to seek food. Istikhara, meaning to seek the goodness from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's what it means. So now you're concerned about a certain matter. Now you want to perform Salatul Istikhara. So when Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, فَلْيَرْكَعْ رَكْعَتَيْنِ مِنْ غَيْرِ الْفَرِيضَةِ, pray 2 rak'at other than the fard prayer. So now the recommendation is to pray 2 rak'at. What is supposed to be recited in the 2 rak'at? Nothing specific was mentioned. Some ulama mentioned that the first rak'ah you recite Surah Al-Kafirun after Al-Fatiha, and in the second rak'ah you recite Surah Al-Ikhlas after Surah Al-Fatiha. But there is absolutely no proof for this, and they only said this because it comes in line with all or many of the voluntary prayers in which the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam recommended these 2 surah to be recited, like the Sunnah of Al-Fajr or the Sunnah of Al-Maghrib after, also Al-Witr, also the 2 rak'at that come after Al-Tawaf. So Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam recommended these 2 surah in many occasions. So they said that also it is recommended in this matter. But the reality is that there is nothing recommended. You can recite whatever you like in these 2 rak'at. And these 2 rak'at are like any other salat. You will make wudu, face the qibla and pray. And you are not allowed to pray in times in which a salat is forbidden, such as after Salat al-Fajr, at dhuhr time, exactly when the sun is right in the middle of the sky, and just before that, 10 minutes before dhuhr, this is a forbidden time to pray. And after Salat al-Asr until al-Maghrib, it's a forbidden time to pray. And so Salat al-Istikhara would be forbidden to pray it during the times in which the prayer is forbidden to pray, except if a person had a situation and he required a decision on it, and he wanted to seek Allah's guidance, and he needs to make a decision within that prohibited time. It is only in that case where we say you can pray Salatul Istikhara, no issue. So let's say it is after Salatul Fajr, and he needs to make the decision before sunrise. He cannot delay it. So we say pray Salatul Istikhara in this forbidden time, and there is no problem. And of course, if a woman is upon her periods, let's say, and she needed to make Salatul Istikhara, then she may do so without the Salat, just by saying the words. This would be in the case of a woman. Now, من غير الفريضة. So this is 2 rak'at. If a person recited Dua al-Istikhara in his sujood, in a fard salat in his sujood, would that qualify to be a Salat al-Istikhara? We say no. He just made Dua al-Istikhara, and this is not Salat al-Istikhara. Right? So these are matters to pay attention to. Can a person combine a sunnah prayer with Salat al-Istikhara? So let's say he's praying Sunnat al-Fajr, but he wants to combine that with the intention of Salat al-Istikhara as well. We say in this case that it is permissible, no problems to do so, but it is better to single out Salat al-Istikhara and separate it from any other voluntary prayer. Pray 2 rak'at, and that's it. Don't mix it with anything else. That's the recommendation. Then the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, ثُمَّ لْيَقُلْ. After praying 2 rak'at, then say. This thumma is an indication that Dua al-Istikhara comes after concluding the 2 rak'at. Once you've finished and made a taslim, one to the right, one to the left, you've completely finished the salat, now you make Dua al-Istikhara while you are still sitting in your position. And of course, what is recommended is that you raise your hand because you are outside of a salat, and generally at dua there is a recommendation of raising your hand. There are opinions that mention a person may do Dua al-Istikhara just before he concludes a salat. After he's made at-tahiyat and he's finished, just before he says Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, he stays in that position and he begins with Dua al-Istikhara, and then he makes taslim. In that case, if a person is going to do Dua al-Istikhara at the end of a salat, you don't raise your hand, obviously, because you're in salat and you keep your hands on your thigh and your knee. Now, but we're saying that al-ulama rahimahumullah would take from the word ثُمَّ لِيَقُلْ, meaning after a salat has been concluded. So now you've prayed 2 rak'at, you're sitting and you've raised your hand and you begin with Dua al-Istikhara. This dua, we said, the best way to do it is to stick to its words and to memorize it and to say it from memory. That's the first best option. If you don't memorize it, or you haven't memorized it, or that's difficult, second best option is to have it written in front of you and you can read it from a piece of paper or the phone or whatever it is. If you cannot read Arabic and you haven't memorized it, the third option would be to say it, let's say in English. If you can say it in English, say it in English. Let's say you have no paper, or you don't know it in English, you haven't memorized it, and the matter is urgent. In this case, you do the same 2 rak'at, and afterwards you say any words that you are seeking Allah's Azza wa Jal's guidance on a certain matter. Any words that bring that type of meaning. But that's the last option. And the best option is to memorize, like you memorize a surah from the Quran, and you stick to these words. So when Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, ثُمَّ لِيَقُلْ اللَّهُمَّ إِنِّي أَسْتَخِيرُكَ بِعِلْمِكَ. That's the first part. Oh Allah, I seek guidance through your knowledge. That's huge. From the very beginning, you are acknowledging that all knowledge belongs to Allah Azza wa Jal, and that Allah Azza wa Jal, His knowledge has encompassed all things and all matters. And so you are a slave that is in desperate need of guidance from Allah Azza wa Jal's knowledge. In this first part, Allahumma inni astakhiruka bi'ilmik, there is humility. And there is an acknowledgement from the servant that no one knows the reality of matters except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The one who performs Salatul Istikhara is a person who is convinced and certain about the name of Allah Al-Alim. The one who abandons Salatul Istikhara and doesn't rush to this as a first resort, he has deficiency in the belief in Allah's name Al-Alim. This is why this is important. It solidifies and strengthens your iman in the name of Allah Al-Alim, the name of Allah, the all-knowing. So Allahumma inni astakhiruka bi'ilmik. I am seeking guidance through your knowledge and not through anyone else's knowledge. Oh, by the way, you know, I said to you there's there's two steps here. There's something known as al-istishara wal-istikhara. Al-istishara is to seek guidance from people. Wal-istikhara is to seek guidance from Allah. So which one do we put first? Do we seek the people's guidance or Allah Azza wa Jal's guidance at the beginning? Yani let's say I wanted to open a business. Do I go to the people that are experts in that field, in that business, and ask them, what is your opinion? What is your opinion? What's your opinion? Once they've given me their opinion and I'm closer to making a decision, then I make an istikhara. Al-ulama rahimahumullah, they say it is better to put al-istikhara first, to make al-istikhara first, and then to seek the counsel of people, to seek their advice. And there is no problem at all to seek the people's advice first and then to do Salat al-Istikhara afterwards. There is no issue, because seeking the people's advice is a means. And the means are permissible. The means, taking by halal means, is permissible in Islam. And there is no basis to what some of the Sufis say, that whoever practices al-istishara wal-istikhara faqad ashrak. They say that anyone who practices these two matters at one given time, seeking people's guidance and Allah's guidance through Salat al-Istikhara, then he has committed a shirk. Ma'adallah, there is no basis to this matter, and there is no problem for a person to seek the guidance of people. That's just a means. So you can do that first and then Salat al-Istikhara, but it's better to do Salat al-Istikhara first and then to seek the people's guidance on a certain matter. Allahumma inni astakhiruka bi'ilmik wa astaqdiruka biqudratik. And I seek your power through your might. Yani I'm seeking your power and your ability over my affairs and matters. Because if left alone, I am weak, I am poor, I am confused, I'm misguided. So I'm seeking your power, I'm seeking your strength. You give me the ability over making a decision on this certain matter that is ahead of me in life. وَأَسْتَقْدِرُكَ بِقُدْرَتِكَ وَأَسْأَلُكَ مِنْ فَضْلِكَ الْعَظِيمِ. And I implore you and beg you and ask you from your tremendous favors, from your great favors, bestow upon me goodness, bestow upon me favors and blessings. This is now a person asking from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's favors. فَإِنَّكَ تَقْدِرُ وَلَا أَقْدِرُ. Shuf now the humility and the acknowledgement. فَإِنَّكَ تَقْدِرُ. You're the one that is able. You're able. And you have capability over every matter. And I have nothing. Zero. وَلَا أَقْدِرُ. Shuf now, as though a person now is clinging onto the mercy of Allah Azza wa Jal, that without you, Allah, I don't have ability to make a decision on anything in life. فَإِنَّكَ تَقْدِرُ وَلَا أَقْدِرُ وَتَعْلَمُ وَلَا أَعْلَمُ. And it is only you who knows and has knowledge, inside, outside knowledge of the reality of every matter. As for me, وَلَا أَعْلَمُ, I don't know. Yani nothing, zero. Your knowledge compared to other people might be something. You might say, Allah, I have more knowledge than this person. But your knowledge, when it's compared to Allah, then it's zero. Nothing. La a'lam. That's how Allah Azza wa Jal described us. when we first came out from a mother. وَاللَّهُ أَخْرَجَكُم مِّن بُطُونِ أُمَّهَاتِكُمْ لَا تَعْلَمُونَ شَيْئًا. Allah Azza wa Jal brought you out from the bellies of your mothers and you don't know anything. وَاللَّهُ يَعْلَمُ وَأَنْتُمْ لَا تَعْلَمُونَ. Zero. So, of course, you have to seek Allah Azza wa Jal's guidance. You don't know, and no one knows. وَتَعْلَمُ وَلَا أَعْلَمُ. These words are supposed to give you confidence. And they are supposed to make you grateful to Allah Azza wa Jal that He guided you to these words and that you are seeking guidance from the ultimate source, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَأَنْتَ عَلَّامُ الْغُيُوبِ. And you are the knower of the unseen. You are the knower of the unseen. And you see, when you want to take by a certain matter in life, there are matters that are unseen to you. Well, the only reason you're confused is because you don't know the outcome. The outcome is not clear. It is unseen from your perspective. So should I do this operation or not? So you're confused because you don't know. There's something unseen and hidden in the matter. How's the outcome going to be? How's the result going to be? So you say, وَأَنْتَ عَلَّامُ الْغُيُوبِ. This is why you're seeking Allah's guidance, because He knows the unseen. He knows the result. He knows the outcome of this matter. If it is good for you, then you're asking Allah, let me go ahead with it. Give me the direction and the guidance to it. Then you say, and we'll speak about the result of al-istikhara and how is a person supposed to move on with the matter after this dua. اللهم إن كنت تعلم أن هذا الأمر خير لي في ديني ودنياي خير لي في ديني ومعاشي وعاقبة أمري. Now you say, oh Allah, if you know that this matter, you don't say this matter, you will say what your matter is. You'll say, oh Allah, if you know that this surgery is better for me concerning my faith and my worldly affairs and my hereafter, فيسره لي ثم بارك لي فيه فاقدره لي ويسره لي ثم بارك لي فيه. Then decree it for me, make it happen. ويسره لي, facilitate, make it easy for me, and then bless it for me. Look, this part here is the most important part, because this is now the actual istikhara. You're saying, oh Allah, if this particular matter, and you name the matter, is good for me concerning my faith, that's the first thing you say. Concerning my faith, is this good for my iman? Is it good for my relationship with Allah? That's the first thing you say. Because if your faith is destroyed, there's no goodness in anything else that's going right for you in life. If it's good for my deen, then if it's good for my worldly affairs, my worldly matters, if it's good for my financials, if it's good for my family, if it's good for everything else, and if it's good for my afterlife, is this going to be a witness for me on the day of judgment? Or is it going to be a witness against me on the day of judgment? If this matter is good for my deen, it's healthy for my relationship with Allah, it doesn't damage it, and it's good for my worldly affairs and for my afterlife, فَقْدُرْهُ لِي. Then, oh Allah, decree it for me. وَيَسِّرْهُ لِي, and make it easy for me. ثُمَّ بَارِكْ لِي فِيهِ, and place lots of barakah within it. Then you will say, وَإِن كُنْتَ تَعْلَمُ أَنَّ هَذَا الْأَمْرِ شَرٌّ لِي. And if you know this matter, you repeat the matter. If you know that this matter is harmful for me, it is evil for me, شَرٌّ لِي فِي دِينِي, in my faith. This is going to impact my faith in a negative manner. Mathalan, you're making istikhara about a business, and you're saying, oh Allah, if this is going to be bad for my deen, in where I'm going to start skipping salat, or I'm going to skip obligations and so on, if it's bad for my deen, وَمَعَاشِي, and my worldly matters, my financials and so on, وَعَاقِبَةَ أَمْرِي, and my afterlife, this is going to be bad for me in all sense, then فَصْرِفْهُ عَنِّي, keep it away from me. اصرفه, meaning move it away from me. واصرفني عنه, and move me away from it. That's this wording here. There is emphasis in the type of distance you want from this matter. اصرفه عني, keep it away from me. واصرفني عنه, and move me away from it. Meaning create a huge distance between me and it. Make it inaccessible for me. وَاقْدُرْ لِيَ الْخَيْرَ حَيْثُ كُنْتَ. And then you're ending off the dua by saying, and decree for me goodness wherever I may be. Because this is ultimately what the servant wants. You don't want what you think is good for you. You want what Allah Azza wa Jal knows is good for you. And that will not happen if you don't ask Him. وَاسْأَلُوا اللَّهَ مِنْ فَضْلِهِ, Allah says. Ask Allah for His virtue and bounty and favors. And then at the end, you will say, ثُمَّ ارْضِنِي بِهِ, and then give me contentment with this matter. And that's a huge word, an important word at the end. Because some people, they do al-istikhara, and then they just break the doors to get to whatever they want, not responding to the outcome of al-istikhara, which I'll share with you. But the idea is, ثُمَّ ارْضِنِي بِهِ. That's the main thing. If Allah Azza wa Jal was to make it easy for you, then, oh Allah, give me acceptance in my heart that I'm content and pleased with your qadr. And if it doesn't happen, and it's not from my naseeb, it's not from my decree, then give me contentment that I don't become sad and upset that the opportunity has been lost. Give me contentment. And that is the case of the believer. He is to be content with every matter that Allah Azza wa Jal decrees for him. So now we've said dua al-istikhara, you've said it once, and you have finished. What do we do now? The outcome. See, the result of al-istikhara has nothing to do with dreams. That's what's common among people. I did istikhara, I slept, I saw this dream. Should I go ahead or not? That has nothing to do with the response of al-istikhara. Feelings. I feel a certain way in my heart. That has nothing to do with istikhara. I feel that I'm supposed to proceed with the matter. Well, I feel uncomfortable. That has nothing to do with al-istikhara. Aslan, if you feel uncomfortable within your heart, why are you doing the istikhara to begin with? Al-istikhara is once you've made a decision on a matter, just before you go ahead, you make Salatul Istikhara, and then immediately get up and you proceed. That's how you respond to dua al-istikhara. Immediately after it, you get up and you proceed with the matter. If it's a surgery, get up and do it. If it is a business, go ahead and do it. If it's an investment, go ahead and do it. If it's a travel, go ahead and do. If it's a marriage, go ahead. The thing is here, once you start walking towards this matter, if things become difficult, now the path to that thing becomes difficult and rigid and rough. You can't get there anymore. It's being blocked, it's being delayed. Khalas, that means there's no goodness in this, turn away from it. But if it's easy, facilitated for you, smooth, comfort, you get to do it beyond what you expected, and it's made easy, that's the goodness. Khalas, ma'nata, this is what Allah Azza wa Jal wanted for you as a good matter. That's how we respond to al-istikhara. No feelings and no dreams. You see, the dreams, of course, they're an important part in life, but al-ulama, rahimahumullah, they say, you never base a decision or make a decision based on a dream. Dreams are more like comforts, reassurance to a person, giving him good news, glad tidings, as the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, تِلْكَ عَاجِلُ بُشْرَى الْمُؤْمِنِ. That's what dreams are like. They're a push, a motivation, and encouragement to do good and so on. And if you saw a good dream from Allah Azza wa Jal. But there is no such thing as to take guidance from a dream. You take guidance from the Quran, from the Sunnah, or Salatul Istikhara, and things like this. طيب. Can Salatul Istikhara be repeated? That's another question. Well, the correct opinion here is that yes. If a person is still doubtful and hesitant, doesn't want to do that step, he can repeat Salatul Istikhara. Even if he's not doubtful or hesitant, he can pray one Salatul Istikhara, another one, a third one, no problems. والدليل for this is the incident in the words of Abdullah ibn Zubayr radiyallahu anhu. Abdullah ibn Zubayr, at his time, Al-Kaaba was damaged. So he wanted to destroy it and rebuild it upon the foundations of Ibrahim. Because the Kaaba, its essence, its foundation is upon the foundations of Ibrahim. Since then, it hasn't moved a millimeter to the left nor to the right. Once in Mecca, when Quraysh wanted to move the foundations, the entire grounds of Al-Madinah of Mecca shook. No one's allowed to change the foundations. Where the Kaaba is right now is exactly where it is from the day Allah Azza wa Jal ordered and commanded for it to be built. So Abdullah ibn Zubayr, he said to the people, what do you think? He's taking their opinion. I want to demolish the Kaaba and rebuild it strong. They said to him, don't do that. They said the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam died and the Kaaba was exactly in the same manner. So don't touch it. Don't add a brick, don't remove a brick. So he got angry and upset. He said to them, Wallah, if any one of you's house was destroyed, you'd renovate it and you would fix it. And this is the house of Allah Azza wa Jal. So he said to them, وَإِنِّي مُسْتَخِيرٌ ثَلَاثًا فَنَاظِرُ فِي أَمْرِي. He said to them, and I'm going to do an istikhara 3 times, and then I'll take a decision on the matter. And he's saying this in front of Sahaba. And no one refuted him. No one condemned him for this practice and this say. Therefore we learn from this that a person can repeat Salatul Istikhara, no problems. Dua al-Istikhara is a dua. And generally what is recommended with dua is repetition. So there is no issue concerning this matter. This is the end of our lesson. It is good now to take what you have heard and put into practice in every matter that comes in life. Whether you feel like you need to do an istikhara or not, when it is big matters like this, make an istikhara for them. And you can do so either before the istishara, seeking the counsel of the people afterwards, as we mentioned. Wallahu a'lam. We ask Allah Azza wa Jal to accept from us all. We ask Him subhanahu wa ta'ala to forgive our sins and our shortcomings. Innahu waliyu dhalika wal qadiru alayh. Wa sallallahu wa sallam wa baraka ala nabiyyina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'een.